Hello everyone, and welcome to another Interalia video tutorial. Today I'm going to be taking you through the installation of Interalia's iMCM server application. This application is designed to manage iPromo devices as they check into the server, as well as the content on those devices. In other words, what their schedules are going to be and what audio files they're going to play. So the first step is download the executable file from Interalia. This application can be purchased through any major telecom reseller. Once you have the installation file, you simply double click it and you'll see the installation wizard will open up. It's asking if you want to continue with the installation. It's important you read the software and firmware license agreement. If you agree, click next. Next. This is the default location. Click next. This is where the data files will be stored. If you do plan on using a lot of audio files within your server, it might be a wise plan to choose a secondary drive as so not to bog down the system. Click next. Here's just a quick review of what you've chosen. Click install. Now, one of the great things about iMCM is the server itself runs as a set of services in the background and is not really an application that runs on any one profile. So that means once the system is installed and running, the services will continue to run in the background and does not need to have a user logged in. In the event of a power failure, for example, once the computer reboots, those services will start automatically without even having to log into the system. You see a new icon has appeared on the desktop. This is a link to a small application called the iMCM Server Manager. This little server manager application is used to configure the services of the server, but is not required to be open while the system is up and running. So you see the installation is complete. I'm going to go ahead and click finish. It's asking if I want to import old files. In this case, I don't. So the very first thing you'll see is the iMCM Server Manager. You'll see 9 separate tabs across the top. It's important to go through and configure each one initially when you set up this server. So by default, it opens up to the networking tab. The networking tab shows us the IP address and the port number for the various operations of the system. So the devices will check into this computer using this IP address and this port number. And for the administration of the server, you also use the same IP address, the IP address of this computer, and port 80, which is the default web interface. Down below is the call home address fields. Now this is the fields that you will enter into the iPromo in order for it to reach into the server. If your server is sitting behind a firewall, you will probably put the external address of your firewall in this field. Next we'll go to the services tab. This is all the services required to make the system operate. You'll see right now the services are not installed, so I'm going to go ahead and click install. And you see all the services have now started. In the firmware field, you can install new firmware for the iPromo devices. Once you've chosen a firmware file, the iPromos will have the ability to check into the server and update themselves automatically. This makes a very nice system for updating entire fleets of devices with very little effort on your side. The email tab this is where you configure your host name, username, and password of an email address you want to use, along with the mail and reply to fields. These fields will be published in the emails that the iMCM sends out. The iMCM can send out notifications in the event that there's an iPromo that's not checking in properly, or perhaps if a stale date comes about, it will notify you of that as well. The system has a very sophisticated locking mechanism. It is able to keep logs on the various services. In addition, you're also able to set the maximum length of the log. What happens is the log will fill to this many lines, and then it will start to delete the oldest logs first. This way it won't eat up all the space on your hard disk. If you want to keep a lot of logs, by all means, make this field log larger. Audio Audio tab is used to send audio into the server or upload audio into the server. You can select music files or message files. The system accepts a wide variety of audio file types: MP3, WMA, WAV, OGG. You'll also have another opportunity to upload audio through the web interface as well. This type of upload interface is ideal for uh, uploading many files at a time. So if you have a large audio library you want to upload, this is the best mechanism to do so. In the about field is just a little information about how to contact Interalia as well as the versions of your various services. In the notifications tab, you can configure the emails that go out to the system. So if you don't want the basic Interalia iMCM logo, you can put in your own logo as well as your own administrator information. Finally, we have the Archives tab. This tab will be used to configure the automatic archive or backup of the system. You can simply choose to create a complete backup of your iMCM at any time by clicking on the backup button here, and it will save the file in this folder location. If you want it to back up automatically, you just choose the day of the week you want. In this case, it's Sunday at midnight, but choose whatever time and date you want. And then what will happen is every time this date and time rolls around, it will back itself up again. Here I'm going to create a manual backup. And if I want to restore that file, just click on restore, very much like a Microsoft Restore Point. So at this point, the system should be up and running. I should be able to now open up a web page and travel over to that web address to continue to administer the server. So in this case, it's 114. And here we have the login screen. The default credentials are admin, admin. And now we're greeted with the initial view of where you will configure your entire system from the iPromo devices to the media they'll play. Thank you very much for listening to my installation video tutorial. For more information on iMCM or Interalia products, please visit our website, www.interalia.com. Thank you.